Hey, friend, I am so glad that you're here. Have you ever had one of those days where you're doing your best, trying to keep all the plates spinning, but still by the end of the day, you feel like you've dropped all the plates anyway? Maybe you've even tried your best to pick up those plates and they're broken and you're trying to glue them back together and then carry and continue juggling your broken plates, right? If you've ever had one of those days, you are in the right place because this podcast isn't about doing more. It's about what to do when you've already tried probably everything, or at least what feels like everything.
You're managing what you always do, but your brain feels scattered and you just can't seem to pull it together. The Busy Brain Do-Over from Steady State Co. is your space to recover, reset, and restart, proud of how you show up again. Because you're not the problem, and you're not alone. Here, you'll find real tools and honest conversations to help you feel capable, steady, and like yourself again. Here's your host, Candace David, a fellow busy brain who believes life doesn't have to run perfectly to run well.
Welcome to the Busy Brain Do-Over. I'm Candace, a therapist, an educator, a wife, mom, business owner, and fellow busy brain human who has had to do more than a few do-overs herself lately. This podcast exists because you are not the problem. You just need a do-over. Hey, fellow busy brain friends. If you're nodding along and thinking, oh, this is me, then make sure you're following the show so your next do-over is waiting for you when you need it. Every episode will give you one small reset you can actually use in real life. No shame, no pressure, just simple steps to help you start again. So hit follow now and let's keep doing this together. I have spent years sitting across from young ladies and women who are some of the most brilliant, motivated, and capable humans that I know. And they are completely exhausted. They're doing well by every measurable standard: grades, careers, relationships, but inside, they are struggling to keep up. They're burned out from trying so hard to hold it all together all the time. And if I'm being honest, I have been there too. I was doing all the things, not necessarily infinitely more than anyone else is doing, or even more than what I am capable of. But for some reason, it wasn't working. My brain fell apart and it felt like I couldn't get it back together. The systems and routines that I used to rely on to help keep my brain together had stopped working, all of them. I was floundering. It felt like I didn't have the capacity to do things that I needed to do. The same things that I used to be able to do, right? I didn't recognize or even feel like myself. And because I believed I should still be able to do those things, I felt a lot of shame about struggling. But what I learned in that season, both personally and professionally, is that when your brain and your life start to change, your systems have to change with them. We can't keep expecting ourselves to function the same way when our circumstances, our capacity, or our season have shifted. If those things have shifted, then we have to shift as well. I wanted to create a space where real stories, real fails, both big and small, could be brought into the light, could be talked about and laughed about. A space where we say, this is what didn't work, and here's what I'm going to try and do differently next time. And I'm hoping it does work because life doesn't hand out perfect endings or one size fits all answers. We are all still in the trenches figuring it out as we go. And I think that's what we forget sometimes. There's never going to be a day when we've truly arrived. Sure, You may have had a day like that where you wished a camera crew kind of followed you around so that just the world could witness like how much you just killed it that day. But those are few and far between, right? We are always learning, adjusting, and doing our best with what we've got. And the more we can normalize that, the less shame we carry. This is not a space where the most accomplished, put together, checking all the boxes people or stories will be displayed. Rather, this is a space where the real stories, the messy ones, the cringy ones, the fail ones, like those are the stories that are going to be shared here. This show is for high capacity, highly capable women and people who are so smart, so capable, and so hardworking, and yet still feel behind. It's for people who are spinning so many plates that they forgot they're not supposed to juggle them all together and they have dropped more than two. You want to feel calm and capable again, not by becoming someone else, but by figuring out what actually works for you. If you're ready for small, shame-free resets that make life lighter, not harder, you're in the right place. Every week, we'll take one small piece of real life and give it a do-over. You'll hear stories, real, sometimes messy, always honest, mixed with practical resets you can actually use right away. Because I am a very practical, applicable person. Each episode ends with a permission slip, a gentle reminder that you don't need to do life perfectly to do it well. And sometimes you'll hear from other women, other people who are practicing their own do-overs in real time. Again, not people who have figured it all out, but people who are figuring it out loud. And here is the part I am the most excited about. I want this to be a space where you can show up to, and I'm really hoping you do. If you've had a moment lately that made you think, wow, I really wish I could do that over again. I need a redo, a do-over. I would love to hear about it. You can email me or send me a quick voice memo at team@thesteadystateco.com. That is TEAM at thesteadystateco.com. Your story might even make it into a future episode. My hope is that you'll leave each episode feeling a little lighter, a little more human, and a little more hopeful. I want you to know you are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not behind. Those were all things that I thought during the season that my brain fell apart. And even now that it's no longer like in pieces, I still have those thoughts that come up. But like you, I am learning new ways to live and lead that actually fit my life now. And if you walk with me on this journey, you'll learn those things too. This is your weekly reminder that you can start again, anytime, any day, with one small do-over. Before you go, I'd love to keep in touch between episodes. Join my newsletter, The Weekly Do-Over. It's a short, real-life note for me that shows up midweek, right when life starts to speed up again. Inside, you'll find simple encouragement, behind-the-scenes thoughts, and quick resets that remind you progress isn't about perfection. It's about starting again. You can sign up at mybusybrain.com/join. It's free, it's real, and it'll help you stay steady when everything else feels busy. All right, my fellow busy brains. Thank you so much for tuning in, knowing that you're here and listening, nodding along and giving yourself grace, laughing along with me at my stories makes every bit of this worth it. Take a breath, give yourself a little grace, and remember, you can always start again. That's what a do-over really is. Not perfection, just permission. Talk soon.